Is at sasportstar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, Victor Wembanyama will make his preseason home debut tonight as the San Antonio Spurs welcome the Miami Heat into the Frost Bank Center. Tip-off set for 6:30. Joining me at 6:15 will be host of Locked On Spurs, Jeff Garcia, to talk about tonight's matchup. ALDS is set. Astros Rangers starts Sunday night, 6:30 in Houston. Montgomery gets the start for the Rangers game one.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge. What's up, gang? Can't stop me now.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, SA Sports Star. Riding along with me tonight as I take you all the way up to the start of pregame for high school football, our San Antonio Sports Star high school football game of the week, energized by Hill Electric and brought to you in part by Frost Bank. Tonight, the Stone Oak Super Bowl. Reagan Johnson coverage gets underway right after Extra Innings at 7 o'clock. Jason Minix will be joining me at about 6:30 to preview that game. Speaking of big games going on tonight, Spurs preseason home opener, our first look in person against another team, because Wemby did play in that scrimmage last weekend in front of about 13,000 fans over at the Frostbank Center. But I imagine a very packed house tonight for the preseason home opener of Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. We're going to talk about that with Jeff Garcia coming up here in just a few minutes. Ken's 5 digital reporter and host of Locked On Spurs. He'll be joining me at about 5:15. But the conversation, as always, will start with the Dallas Cowboys as they get set to take on former offensive coordinator Kellen Moore and the San Diego Los Angeles Chargers. Still doing that. Like, I see that team, I see that color scheme, I see that logo, and I just think San Diego. I can't stop myself sometimes. It's a lot like Cowboy fans dealing with the Commanders. They still want to call them the, word that they're not called anymore. So it's very difficult. I'm sure there are some people that still see the Rams and think of them as St. Louis. But luckily, the Rams were in L.A. before going to St. Louis and now back to L.A. But the Chargers, I've always associated them with San Diego. And every once in a while, I still catch myself. It's tough. Drew Show on our YouTube page says CJ Stroud turning out to be the one. Don't want to jinx it, but damn. Look, I get it. And I don't want to jinx it either. But CJ Stroud's giving me very, very good vibes, as is head coach D'Amico Ryans in Houston. I am ready for this thing. Every week seems to be something new and exciting. Win or lose, it is a building process, and I am enjoying this building. But going back to the Dallas Cowboys and Mike McCarthy, and, well, a lot of what we said yesterday, Chris Sims called the offense old, outdated, stale. It is a lot of what it looks like. His comments are a lot of what all Cowboy fans are seeing. And remember that song, You Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone? Well, Kellen Moore, now over in San Diego, did it again, Los Angeles, with the Chargers. Look, people were ready to part ways with Kellen Moore. They were done with this offense. I remember taking calls about Kellen Moore and the offense and how it didn't perform against elite teams. And all of the criticism that Kellen Moore endured over the last couple of years, despite having the number one offense, a top 10 offense, a team that ran the ball consistently. I remember hearing, predictable, things like that out of Kellen Moore as well. So let's not act like this is a new act, but Kellen Moore did want to light up the scoreboard. Kellen Moore was looking to score on almost every play. Kellen Moore is part of today's new NFL. And Mike McCarthy feels like he is still working in past NFL. And maybe there is a perfect marriage between the two at some point. But in today's NFL, you got to be able to score points because everyone, it is offensive centric. It is offensive geared. This is an offensive league. And more than an offensive league, this is a passing league. This is a league that you are encouraged to take deep shots. You are encouraged to try to pump the ball down the field. And yet this morning on R&R in the Morning, Mike McCarthy, and probably his best explanation of what this offense is and what he wants this Tex Coast to be and his vision of it, unlike the 2-minute verbal word salad that he gave that gave you no answer of what the identity of his offense was. Today on R&R in the Morning with Rob and Rudy, I think they gave the most perfect description of what he wants and envisions this offense being.
You can never get away from the importance of scoring points, but how you do it, and as far as the efficiency of it, we need to take care of the ball better. That's something that we came out in the last 2 years. We have not been in the top 5 and taking care of the football since I've been here, and that's not what I'm accustomed to. And so obviously it was a big negative for us in the San Francisco game. So I'm, points, taking care of the football, and then time of possession helps our defense. And our defense is a very strong unit that, if we're keeping them off the field as a bonus, because our drives are, 10, 11, 12 plays, I think it makes them stronger. So at the end of the day, it's about points and taking care of the ball. As far as priorities, but the complementary focus has been just to play to the strength of this defense.
And I get it. You want to play the strength of the defense, but the strength of the defense is unleashing that defense, getting a lead and sicking the defense on it, and maybe getting a lead and sitting on it. But the impetus of that defense is getting a lead. You want to play from in front. It's a front running team. Makes sense. So you get a big lead, you unleash that defensive line, and you get, like you got in week 1 and week 2 and week 4. Like, those are the predictable outcomes when you play with a big lead. It's hard to get a big lead, though, against better teams. So what do? You got to strike first, put that team on their heels, much like San Francisco did, and then everything falls and flows downhill from there. Once the Cowboys were in a deficit, the 49ers unleashed. And that's kind of where things started snowballing on them. Earlier today, a few minutes ago, John Machota of The Athletic, who covers the Cowboys very well, might I add, go to The Athletic, subscribe, read his stuff, follow him on Twitter at John Machota, JONMACHOTA. He talked about McCarthy's thought process and the style of offense that he is trying to run with these long 10-play sustained drives and the difficulty in actually accomplishing what in his head he is thinking.
I understand where he's coming from, but I just look at it, what's in front of them schedule-wise, and, they're going to have some – you're going Justin Herbert this Monday, then you get Stafford coming out of the bye, and you're getting better quarterback play than you've seen so far. I feel like your offense is going to have to put up points here, and so because of that, if you're not, hey, I get where you're saying the 10-play drives and stuff like that. That's also really hard to do in the NFL, to have those long drives like that, to not have forget completing passes. I mean, just the chances of you having a false start or a holding call and how it sets that drive back, and the percentage chances of you even, getting into the red zone after a play like that sets you back, or you just take a sack, or, there's just a bad snap or whatever. And it's all of a sudden, it's like, now all of a sudden you're behind the chains. It's hard to get that 10-play drive going like that. So I get what he's saying. And in a perfect world, that sounds great, but you got to kind of see it against some of these better opponents, and the Chargers are going to be one of them. And I don't know. I have my doubts that you're going to be able to put together all these 10-play drives one after another. I think you're going to have to score. You're going to have to try and score more than this opposing team's offense is. I understand the keeping the defense fresh in that, but the thing I keep going back to is, this is not a stagnant offense right now, or wasn't a stagnant offense against the Niners for a lack of talent. I mean, you finally had your starting offensive line all together for the first time in over a year, almost 2 years. Dak's healthy. Tony Pollard's healthy, CD's healthy, Michael Gallup, Brandon Cooks, Jake Ferguson. I mean, so if it's looking like that, when you have everybody, what's going to look like when you're down a guy or two?
Exactly. And like I said, the best way to help this defense is to get a lead and unleash them and be able to let them play rolling downhill the way you did in weeks 1, 2, and 4 when you built up big leads. This defense is more of an attack defense, so playing with a lead is important. So maybe early in the game, you try and strike fast, strike quick, build a lead. You can sit on the ball more and try and play with that lead and extend those drives, and maybe field goals are better at that point as you just continue to add while unleashing the defense. But right now, the way it's geared, the way it's looking, is going to be a tough haul for this defense that is already down 2 key players in Trayvon Diggs and Leighton Vander Esch for an extended period of time. The offense is going to have to pick up the slack, and I'm not sure we've seen enough from this offense this season to feel confident that they can, especially going into a game where Kellen Moore looking to really run up that score on them. I am James Pledger. You're listening to Extra Innings with Pledger right here on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Wemby debuts at home tonight here in the preseason for their preseason home opener against the Miami Heat. We're going to talk about it with our good friend Jeff Garcia of Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. He will join me next as we talk Victor Wembanyama and what he's expecting tonight from this game. That's all coming up next right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Texas A&M football is on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Saturday afternoon at 1:30. It's the Aggies and Tennessee in an SEC battle. Presented by Ewald Kubota, Just Pots, ABC Home and Commercial Services, The Angry Elephant, Airtron Heating and Air Conditioning, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Must be present in a state where lawful to wager, must be 21 plus and present in select states. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino LLC. First online real money wager only, $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, and Virginia. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas, 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana, visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland, visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia, or call 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelpma.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
I was crossing the street when I met the love of my life. I chased after her. Nothing would stand in my way. Not the dog walker, nor the hot dog vendor. Finally reaching her, I asked, "What do you call that amazing smell?"
It's Gain Flings.
Gain Flings. My love had a name, but more importantly, it had a scent.
Fall in love with Gain Flings. Seriously good scent. Gain Flings with 50% more freshness ingredients versus leading bargain detergent.
Hey,
Did you know Vistaprint prints everything a small business needs? Like if a barbershop needs signage, we print outdoor signs, posters, and banners. Or if a ballet school needs merch,
1, 2,
we print tote bags, t-shirts, hoodies, hats. Or if a coffee shop needs a total refresh,
Vanilla latte for Mike.
Vistaprint designs logos and prints it on menus, mugs, paper bags, anything. Because with Vistaprint, the printabilities are endless. Print it all with 25% off for new customers with code NEW25 at Vistaprint.com.
Hi, Jason Minix here from The Blitz. Want to take a moment to tell you about advertising here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We get this question quite a bit. Easiest thing for you to do is contact Morgan Harrison via email at morgan.harrison@alphamediausa.com. From there, she'll have one of our folks connect with you about how you can advertise right here on our station. And since Alpha Media is a full-service advertising company, whether it's digital advertising, one of our other radio stations, or even connected television, they'll get you taken care of. Happy connecting.
Hey guys, do you know what makes Revive Men's Health San Antonio different? You. Every Revive treatment and medication is personalized just for you. Revive has the experts that guys go to when their current treatment isn't working. They have a complicated medical condition, or they're just not happy with their daily performance. Since 2011, they've helped thousands of local men suffering with the symptoms of low T and ED. Their goal is simple: to get to the bottom of your issues and fix them. Your best performance requires more than generic ED medications or a low-dose testosterone booster at a low-ball price like you find online. Revive medications are custom compounded, affordable, and guaranteed to resolve your issues. Stop dealing with the symptoms of low T or ED. Book your T-check and exam today. Call 210-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit us at revivemenshealth.com.
The annual Thomas J. Henry Bark in the Park Pet Costume Contest is coming back to the Sunken Garden Theater. Join us on Saturday, October 21st from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. for a pet-friendly, family-friendly, tail-wagging time. Enter your pet in the biggest costume contest in Texas with cash prizes up to $1,000. All proceeds benefit local pet rescue organizations. There's plenty to do, from costume contests, vendors, food trucks, kids zone, and more. For more info or to register your pet in the costume contest, visit bark.tjhlaw.com.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson from R&R in the Morning. Join us weekday mornings from 6 to 10. We'll have plenty of sports and all kinds of good fun right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Should I keep it light? Is that right?
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Joining me now from Ken's 5 and host of Locked On Spurs and all-around great nerd, like myself, one Jeff Garcia, the one and only, and I believe his first appearance on Extra Innings, if I'm not mistaken.
It is. It's long overdue, but I'm glad I am joining you here on Extra. And
so the
we were
fans
talking
about to burn the house down right now?
They already are. They already are. I found a corner that's still not lit up yet. So everything's okay so far. Wemby came out to a big applause. So, yeah, I mean, look, who are they playing? I think you and I probably could suit up for the Heat tonight, because I don't think the Heat is trying out, like 6 guys tonight. But, look, it's just a preseason game. You know, hopefully they just get a good sweat. James, you and I were messing around before I got online. This is the new toy. I don't want to open the box yet.
Why not?
I'm in the package collector. I don't want to ruin it before I really get to play with it on Christmas Day or Easter Day. It's a meaningless preseason game. It's a game a quarter and we're done.
But he's only going to play a half anyway. Why not enjoy it? Why do you want to lessen that?
I don't want to lessen it. I want to maximize it when it really counts, and that's the regular season. But it's just preseason game number 2. Hopefully the guys will just get their chemistry down. You know, Wemby gets used to, playing with his new teammates. San Antonio enjoying a glimpse of Wemby. And away we go. Yeah, the Wemby era is here.
But as we've heard a lot this offseason, whether it was Trey Jones, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson. A lot of people have been talking about the lineups and what they're going to look like, and nobody's really sure. And this is kind of the first time we're going to get like Jeremy Sohan involved in a real game. And, you know, they're going to have a closer to fuller complement of players. How important is that for them to actually get some work in together before the regular season starts? Because I really don't think we're going to know what this starting lineup is. It's going to be ever evolving throughout the season.
Super important because, as that old cliche goes, as the players say, you know, in any major sport, what they say, you got to be ready. You got to be ready when your number is called. And I think that's what's going to happen this upcoming season. I can see plenty of different rotations, lineups throughout the season as the Spurs are getting used to each other. You know, obviously Wemby and him, what lineups does he excel with? So whether that's a big lineup, him, Collins, you know, Sohan, Vassell, Keldon, you know, or maybe a smaller lineup, your Wesley, Trey Jones, and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, I think all these guys just got to be ready and to get used to just coming in and out. Hopefully something will settle in, you know, maybe after a month or two, but right now it's just all hands on deck. I think that's the mentality this team has to be. All hands on deck. Be ready. Your number might be called, whether you're starting or you could be a six-man. It's just a good thing for the Spurs to have. They have so many versatile players. You know, is it me? Pleasure is Trey Jones like really the only close to non-versatile? I mean, I think that's about it. You know, maybe Doug. You know, but these guys, if you want Sohan to run the point, sure, why not? You want Wemby to run it? Sure, we're good. Malachi, we're fine. Oh, you need Wemby at the 4? We're good. Need him at the 5? Sure. I mean, that's what's awesome about this roster. It's like a diamond. It has so many facets to it.
He is Jeff Garcia of Ken's 5 and Locked On Spurs. Be sure to subscribe to Locked On Spurs for your daily Spurs digital content, which is really ramped up here as we've gotten closer to the start of the Wemby era here in Wemby era. What are you most looking forward to seeing at least tonight in regards to Wemby after we got that nice little appetizer of him and Chet Holmgren on the road when they took on Oklahoma City in their first preseason game?
Yeah, I want the fans. What I'm thinking about the fans right now, I want them to enjoy the Wemby moments that Oklahoma City fans got to enjoy. You know, the little scoop underneath shot that he made, you know, pregame, you know, his pregame warm-ups, dunk. I want the fans to really enjoy tonight with Wemby because this is the start of hopefully a beautiful relationship between the Spurs, the city fans, and Wemby. Also, too, I want him to perhaps, you know, get more set plays. You know, Popovich, Wemby said that first game they were just really kind of freestyling, just go out there and play ball. I want to see him get used to set plays, you know, how he's going to operate under those conditions and cut down the turnovers, too. I believe he had like 4 or 5 in Oklahoma City. It was 4. So minimize that. Also, too, pick up the dribbling. I think we saw a lot of dribbling from him. I'd see quicker decisions out of him. So just, you know, that whole thing, him getting adjusted to the NBA style.
And Jeff Garcia of Locked On Spurs joining us right now in Ken's 5. Jeff, I was wondering about this offense, Wemby, what's going to happen? We know about the lineups. Other than the lineups, what kind of questions do you have about this team as we move into the regular season?
Yeah, my biggest question is how quick are they going to gel? You know, is this going to be a cooking thing where it takes perhaps more than just the All-Star break for them to really get going? Or is this something going to be really instant, you know, maybe a month in and where they're revving to go? So I think that's one of the things I'm interested in seeing as far as this team collectively. Also, too, how are the other guys going to adjust to them not being the face of the franchise? Wasn't it just a couple years ago or last year, Keldon was the guy. He was the man.
Well,
he's front and center. You know, and now it's Wemby. You know, they're adjusted to that in a positive way. I think it's going to be well for them. You know, maybe less pressure for them. You know, feel comfortable with that. So I think that's what I'm be looking forward to. Also, too, if this team is still going to make changes, you know, so many flippable contracts, all that cash, all those draft picks. I wanted to see if tinkering of the roster, is it over?
Yeah.
Is this it? Is this the team they're going to go to war with or not? So that's what I'm watching for.
Have your expectations shifted at all on this team from where they were after they first got Wemby? Because I will tell you, look at it. Look at what they did without a full complement of players against Oklahoma City. They scored over 40 points in the first quarter, which would have been a season high all of last year. They scored 81 points in the first half, which would have been a season high of all last year. This team, without even gelling or having its full complement of players, already looks more dangerous than it did last year. And my thought process of this being a middle of the pack team and being a play-in or better team after they drafted Wemby, and everybody kind of looking at me with a little bit of a raised eyebrow. After that first look, this team is looking a lot more like a threat than probably most people believed it was.
I left media day confident about this team. Confident. The eye of the tiger, that's what I saw out of them. I saw that eye of the tiger that Apollo Creed keeps on preaching to Rocky in Rocky 3. So, where's your eye of the tiger, Rock? Well, I saw it out of Vassell. I saw it out of Sohan. I saw it out of Wemby. So I'm super confident about this team. And I agree with you. I've gotten the raised eyebrows too, on various shows. Was saying, me saying, like, I think this team is not going to be the Vegas 28-win team. I think they're going to be high 30s, maybe even a low 40. And, how can you not see it? This young team, minus Wemby, took curb stompings last year. You think they want to go through that again? No way. You think they want to go through 8, 9, 10, 11 game losing streak? Not at all. You throw in the fact that now they got that cornerstone piece. Pop is back. He resigned. That's a rejuvenation there. You got you added a more veteran presence with C.D. Osman. So I'm just confident about this team. So Vegas, they can shove it. Where? No way this team is gonna win 28.5 games. This is impossible.
And remember, if you were paying attention last year, I tried to warn you. This team wasn't trying to win, and it was obvious because when they did have their full complement of players, when they actually all played together, when Devin Vassell wasn't hurt and came back from injury, and they didn't have weird lineups at the end, they housed Detroit. They played the reins back on this team and how healthy it was, and injuries to certain players on certain nights toward the end of the year to make sure that they were still in the running.
Absolutely. I was there in Madison Square Garden, Spurs and Knicks. It was a pressure game down to the wire. So who does Pop trot out to do the inbound play, the key inbound play for the Spurs secure to win? Not Doug McDermott, not a veteran. They go with 19-year-old rookie Jeremy Sohan. He fumbles the ball and game over. Spurs lose. So, you saw little things like that, which helped the Spurs up their lottery chances, and it all panned out. And the rest is history. So, James, I just don't. Barring anything catastrophic, Wemby's heavily load managed, or one of the key core guys gets hurt. I don't see this team hitting 28.5. They're beyond that.
He is Jeff Garcia of Locked On Spurs and the Kins 5 Digital Spurs reporter. Follow him on Twitter at Jeff Garcia. At Jeff G Spurs Zone, exactly. Speaking of Jeff G Spurs Zone, not only do you get great Spurs content there, you get great nerd content there. And I saw something that I was not ready for in terms of a new Dragon Ball kind of feature from Akira Toriyama that is leaving a lot of Dragon Ball fans very, very uncomfortable.
Didn't we go through this with GT? And
it feels a lot like GT. It, does it?
It feels like GT all over again. For those of y'all who are not nerds like James and I, basically in GT, the non-canon series, they made Goku back to being a little baby kid. And, fans didn't do well with that. Well, here we go, except it's Goku plus everybody else in the freaking universe. So, what happened to the manga? What happened to Moro? What happened to that arc?
Moro, the Galactic Prisoner, the strongest in the universe, the Granola arc.
Are we ever going to get peak Goten? Are we going to get Trunks? We never even see that. They're still kids. Are we ever going to, what's the next evolution? Is Ultra Instinct done? So, I'm not happy with it. And they made it I would have been okay with it, James, if it was just a one-off movie. Fine,
I thought
whatever,
it was. I didn't know this was a full thing until I saw you said this isn't a one-off movie.
This is not a one-off movie. This is a full-on series, season after season, if they do go over season 1. Not happy with it. Who knows? I mean, will I give it a shot? Sure, it's DBZ.
Of course.
I'll try. Maybe it'll shock me and I'll eat my words. But just based off the trailer, no way.
The animation looks good, though.
Animation looks good. I mean, I'm still partial to the OG, the 90s look.
Oh, absolutely.
But, the 90s look still rock.
But this is closer to the most recent movie, the
Right.
Dragon Ball superhero.
Yeah. Why would they drop the ball like that? That's what I understand. Unless they're setting something up major.
They've got to be.
This
They
year,
have to be.
Like somehow maybe Moro is behind all this, that's making them kids again. I don't know, but not a good move. Not a good move. Hey, James, you will be jealous, though, that I did share the stage with Crossbones. I did share the stage
I saw
with
that.
Data. I did share the stage with Grease Karga, the Armorer, and Paz Vizsla. Yeah. By the way, Emily Swallow, who plays the Armorer, she actually did a drop for Locked On Spurs.
Nice.
She did one, and I thought she was gonna pass, but very, very awesome. She gave me, she didn't give me, but she asked it during her panel that I hosted if I would announce a contest because she was gonna give away 2 free tickets to Fiesta, Texas. So sure, why not? I met with her about an hour, so we go up there, and she didn't want to just give them away. Her, Carl Weathers, and Tate Fletcher, who plays Paz Vizsla in The Mandalorian, they all got together and they said that whoever can do the most push-ups in their cosplay while saying their cosplay's character's most popular line would win it.
Wow.
So, what was it? Captain America, not Falcon Captain America. That guy, he won it.
Oh, nice.
And he did it because he did a one-handed one. And for Carl Weathers, that touched his heart and that got his vote.
That's awesome. Before I let you go, Drew Show says, sorry, Jeff, DB is for kids. And at some point, you can't keep catering to 40 and 50-year-olds. Reboot it and start it over. Get more money. Great move. So,
yeah.
I mean, I get it. Look, it's about time for tip-off. I don't want you to miss it. Bank Center.
Sir.
Are we calling it the Ice House or are we calling it the Vault? What's going on?
I like the Ice. But the Ice House makes you think of Iceman too much.
Yeah. That's why I like the Vault because of the bank
I
and
like
defense.
The Vault. Yeah, the Vault. Maybe the lockbox, because defense, maybe they get better this year. I don't know. Something. Just Ice just sounds too Ice-man-y. But, thanks. And by the way, everybody, yes, as much as I host Locked On Spurs, Mr. James Pledger is a frequent guest there, so let's not forget that.
Follow his stuff. He is on Spotify, YouTube, everywhere. At Jeff G Spurs Zone, at Locked On Spurs, and of course at Kins5. Thanks for your time, Jeff.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
That is Jeff Garcia. When we come back, Jason Minix is going to help us get a quick look at what's going on tonight between the Stone Oak Super Bowl. Johnson, Reagan, kind of a look ahead to the pregame coming up next here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's Dallas Cowboys football on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. This Monday, it's the Cowboys and Chargers at 6 p.m.
Prescott in the gun, back looking, standing. Hurry up, throw the right flat, caught. Pollard, 25, 20 on the right sideline. Pollard streaks in. Touchdown!
Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds, the law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chunk Law, Ewald Kubota, Mother's Window Tint, Woods Comfort Systems, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds are one of the boldest, protein-packed and low-carb snacks out there. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, you'll want to stock up on Southern Recipe small batch at your local H-E-B. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds today. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous. Find your flavor at southernrecipesmallbatch.com.
It's the Hendon Mob Series. It's the Fall Classic Series. 11 different events going on now, all the way through October 22nd. You know I'm only talking about one place. You know I'm talking about SA Card House, the premier card house in San Antonio, and their Fall Classic Series is going to be a doozy. We're talking about big-time no-limit hold'em tournaments. Also, they're going to keep the free roll in there for the little guys like myself, but we're talking about 1,000 guaranteed, 15,000 guaranteed, 50, and all the way up to 200,000. SACardhouse.com. Check it all out yourself. It is the premier card house. And when you're playing this much poker, you know you're going to have to get over to Foster's Bar and Grill, get you a little something to eat, get you a little something to drink to kind of refuel yourself. Check it out at SACardhouse.com. The Hendon Mob Series is the Fall Classic Series at the premier card house in San Antonio. SACardhouse.com. SACardhouse.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. Picture a swimmer backstroking through a pool of lime jelly. Now picture yourself getting the new titanium iPhone 15 Pro. Now picture a lion and antelope hugging. Now picture yourself switching to Boost Infinite and getting the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Now picture that swimmer again, but this time it's you, and the pool is full of iPhones and baby ducks. Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. Switch today. Just dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slowed. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from the station's network.
Yep, I'm looking at the pages right now.
Thomas's translation company just lost its only 2 Spanish speakers. Without the right replacements, he'll be in problemas.
Yeah, we'll have those ready. Tonight's going to be a late one.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Western legacy built by those who persevere through resourceful determination. Ariat honors that same legacy by bringing innovative technology to classic pieces. Driven by a dedication to the craft, Ariat blends timeless Western artistry with advanced performance features for the modern cowboy and rodeo athlete. Out west, ingenuity is second to none. Ariat at Boot Barn.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
When traveling to see the Longhorns in Austin, make sure you bring along the guys from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Listen anywhere on the Odyssey radio app.
Welcome back to Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, SASportsStar.com. Our San Antonio Sports Star high school football game of the week is an epic one tonight. Number 1 versus number 3 in the city, the Stone Oak Super Bowl, 2 of the best teams in all of San Antonio, Reagan versus Johnson. And to talk about it, I've got the man on the call tonight, one Jason Minix for the San Antonio Sports Star high school football game of the week, which is energized by Hill Electric and brought to you in part by Frost Bank. Jason, this has all the feelings of an epic clash tonight.
You've got two powerhouses. You've got two offenses that score over 40 points a game. You've got two defenses that are also very, very good. And I look at the Reagan defense. They have 3 straight shutouts. They're only giving up 9.6 points a game. Johnson's only giving up 16.3, but these teams score so much. You've got 2 of the best quarterbacks in the city. You've got 2 of the best running backs in the city. This has all the makings of one of those games. The question is, will it live up to the hype?
Look, that's always the question when you deal with big games like this, but the way that both of these teams are playing, and we've covered on San Antonio Sports Star, each of these teams, we've kind of seen them in person. We've seen some of the competition that they have faced. These teams both feel like legit contenders for the district title. And this kind of feels like the district title game.
Well, in a lot of ways it is. I mean, you look at, with both these teams 4-0 in district play. Brandeis has 2 district losses. Clark, who beat Churchill last night in the Gucci Bowl, they're 4-2 in district play. So, yeah, the winner of tonight's game is going to be the district champion. When you look at Johnson, their remaining schedule is Marshall, Lee, and Madison. The Reagan Rattlers have Churchill, Roosevelt, and Brandeis to close out the regular season on November 3rd, which we will have for you here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. But, with everybody else with 2 district losses, I think tonight's game, the winner will be the outright district championship. And then you look at playoff seedings, big school, little school, Division I, Division II, and how that goes. But this is so much bigger, both of these teams. It's more than a district championship. I know that's the first goal, but I think both of these teams are primed for deep playoff runs, but you still have to deal with those schools in Austin. Are these teams good enough to get by a Westlake or a Lake Travis?
And that was going to be my next question. Everybody, the district goal is your first, but since the realignment of the way the playoffs are structured, having to play those Austin schools in this first round has seemed to be a hurdle for these San Antonio teams to make it these deep runs that we used to be used to seeing them make.
Well, I look at it as good as Reagan has been through the years. They've never even been to the state semifinals. Johnson has been when Hunter Ritterman was quarterbacking that team. They played down at then Reliance Stadium, home of the Houston Texans, and got steamrolled by the Katy Tigers. It's crazy to think the teams that Reagan has had, that they haven't had that deep playoff run that goes into the state semifinals or even past the regional finals. And I think back a couple of years ago, I thought Kellen and that Reagan team was a team that could go, but he opted out of his senior year to go to IMG Academy down in Florida. This year, I look at Brad Jackson, a move-in quarterback for the Reagan Rattlers, who is a 3-year starter down in the Houston area and a track star. What he has been able to do as the quarterback, and then Cole Pryor as their running back, they've got the offensive weapons. I mean, receivers and Jeter Battles and Cornell Weatherspoon. They've got some studs, but for the Reagan Rattlers, their defense is just lights out. Their defense can carry them this year.
Jason Minix on the play tonight for the Stone Oak Super Bowl right here on San Antonio Sports Star. When a game is this close, when you're talking about the offensive talent on both, you're talking about the defensive talent on both, does it come down to coaching and special teams initially when you expect a team that is so close, or 2 teams that are so closely matched? And where does that needle kind of tip?
Well, I mean, you look at T.P. Miller is only in his second year as head coach. He was an assistant under Mark Soto before Mark Soto left Johnson after a couple years to go to Judson. You look at Coach Hamilton, he's in his 7th year at Reagan, 54-20 in his 7th season. The experience, I think you go towards Coach Hamilton, and Coach Ham is a defensive-minded coach. I look at T.P. Miller. He's made all the right decisions. He's made a lot of good decisions in his second year as a head coach, and he's got some talent. But both of these teams have been in some tight games. You go back to the season opener, it was Johnson beating Judson on a last-second field goal to win that game 24-21. Reagan beat Smithson Valley in the opener 17-16. Then they beat Round Rock 35-28, Clark 38-14. In their last three games, they rolled Marshall and they rolled Lee, but shutting out Madison last week 45-0 was a massive statement for the Reagan Rattlers. I look at Johnson blowing out O'Connor. O'Connor's still winless. Churchill 33-9, the final there. They blew out Roosevelt, but 46-20 over Brandeis, and then a 56-7 win a week ago over Clark. Clark beat Churchill last night in the Gucci Bowl. Clark could be the fourth team out of 28-6A into the playoffs. So you look at wins over Roosevelt look like a playoff team. Brandeis will be a playoff team. Clark could be a playoff team. And Johnson steamrolled them both.
That is incredible. Don't forget, the pregame show starts coming up at the top of the hour at 7 o'clock. Jason and Rudy J will be on the call for the San Antonio Sports Star High School football game of the week, energized by Hill Electric and Frost Bank. And that includes in the pregame show interviews with both head coaches, TP Miller and Lyndon Hamilton. Jason, thanks so much for the time.
Appreciate you, Pledge. It's Frito Pie time.
There it is. Let's find out how that is at the top of the hour. But coming up next, we're going to get you ready for a great football weekend and more on the Cowboys and what they got to do to right the ship as they take on the Chargers on Monday Night Football. And you can join Jason and Joe in the Blitz as they get you ready for that, including that Astros-Rangers ALCS Game 2, as they'll be at the Slackers out at the Medical Center with chances to win tickets to Adam Sandler and much more. Join them on Monday. But coming up next, we'll talk about it right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Awesome Tickets Pro Football Pick'em Challenge on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your shot at $50,000 nationally, while weekly winners locally get a $50 gift card to Five Oaks Ace Hardware on Thousand Oaks. At the end of the season, locally, the best overall record wins the San Antonio Grand Prize of $1,000 worth of tickets to any event from Awesome Tickets. Sign up today at sasportstar.com.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. And products right when you need them. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
O'Reilly Auto Parts' new Brake Best Select Pro brand raises the bar for the best aftermarket domestic brake pads and rotors available. For vehicle-specific friction formulations, Quiet-Tech noise-canceling shims, and stainless steel hardware, choose Brake Best Select Pro. Professional-grade brakes from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Picture a swimmer backstroking through a pool of lime jelly. Now picture yourself getting the new titanium iPhone 15 Pro. Now picture a lion and antelope hugging. Now picture yourself switching to Boost Infinite and getting the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Now picture that swimmer again, but this time it's you, and the pool is full of iPhones. And baby ducks. Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. Switch today. Just dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slowed. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from the station's network.
Yep, I'm looking at the pages right now.
Thomas's translation company just lost its only 2 Spanish speakers. Without the right replacements, he'll be in problemas.
Yeah, we'll have those ready. Tonight's going to be a late one.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
We're here with Jose Rios, attorney at the Gomez Law Firm. If you are injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, Jose, what's the first thing our listeners should do?
The first thing they should do is pick up the phone, call the Gomez Law Firm, or Google joegomezlaw.com.
Gomez Law has been protecting the people of our community for almost 50 years. They're the leader in personal injury law.
We do ride-sharing cases, we do carbon monoxide cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries.
But that's not all your firm does, Jose. Tell us a little more about other cases Gomez Law takes on and wins here in Texas.
Really anything that involves a personal injury and a third party that is responsible for causing that injury, we will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax, 100% natural male enhancement formulas only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
I'm living the life that I lived before I started having knee pain 10 years ago.
Meet Julie, a woman who makes the most of every moment in life. But over the last years, those moments were filled with agonizing pain until she discovered QC Kinetics.
Finally, the pain got so bad that people around me are like, oh, when are you getting your knee replaced? I was walking QC Kinetics commercial and I said, I'm done. I got to find out about this.
What Julie found out was that QC Kinetics treats pain associated with osteoarthritis with regenerative therapies, taking your body's own healing properties and concentrating them in the areas where you feel pain, helping heal and restore those damaged areas. No harmful steroids, surgery, or downtime.
It changed how I'm living. I'm able to do the things that I wasn't able to do for a long time.
Get back your life before the pain. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The number one pick goes to the San Antonio Spurs.
The Spurs select Victor Wembanyama.
I'm a damn Spurs.
Is your home for Wemby Mania.
Your home for Wemby Mania. I like the sound of that. And Wemby is actually not in action right now, but he's started as they finish up the first quarter action. About 4 minutes left, just under that left in the first quarter as the Spurs are taking on the Miami Heat. Miami leads that game actually 23-21. Taking a quick look at some of the stats and where Wemby sits early in that game. Victor Wembanyama currently played 5 minutes in the first quarter so far. He has 4 points, 1 block, 1 assist on 2 of 4 shooting. He is 0 of 1 from behind the arc. Leading the way for the Spurs is actually Devin Vassell with 7 points as we speak. The Spurs are going to be so much fun to watch and cover this year with the way this team is. I mean, just look how it's constructed. I talked with Jeff earlier today, and remember, this team wasn't trying to win last year. It was kind of obvious with the lineups, but when you did get to see them at full strength, they played with almost everybody they were in. And you look at last game with Wemby against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Season high. Would have been a season high last year. Over 40 points in the first quarter. Over 81 points in the first half. Both of those season highs. Wemby didn't play in the second half, which is fine. But if he continues to play, it shifts everything. It shifts the way people defend this team. It shifts the way this team can defend, because Wemby will cover up a lot of warts on defense for this team. I hate to call Monday night a must-win for the Dallas Cowboys, but man, you can feel everything boiling under the surface. You can see CeeDee Lamb's frustrated. You can see players are about ready to boil over when it comes to where they are, why the offense is struggling, the defense is now struggling, and if they get another one put on them like San Francisco just did, it's going to be tough. I think they have to open up this offense. They have to get things going because this defense needs to play with a lead. And then you can go to your 10-play drive offense and try and control the clock. But you got to get the lead first, and you got to be able to jump out in front to be able to let that defense do what it does best. Don't forget to join Jason and Joe on Monday as they will be out at the Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar out in the Medical Center as they get you ready for that game. You can also catch out game 2 of the Astros and Rangers as it's out there. But coming up next, we have high school football, your San Antonio high school football game of the week, the Stone Oak Super Bowl. Jason and Rudy J bring you Johnson and Reagan next here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Texas A&M football is on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Saturday afternoon at 1:30. It's the Aggies and Tennessee in an SEC battle. Presented by Ewald Kubota, Just Pots, ABC Home and Commercial Services, The Angry Elephant,